Good Monday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the morning conversations before the day gets going. How about that idea, huh? Look at the Ford. Look, Ford. Well, there's a Ram, there's a Dodge, there's a Toyota, but more Fords. So how many Fords? Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. So we got 4 Fords there, 2 over there, that's 6. Oh, the Raptor, that's 7. And the garage is 9. Got another one in Florida, that's 10. Got another one up the road for me, it's 11. So yes, 11, is that right? 11 Fords. I have 11 Ford vehicles right now. Wow. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, so what are we going to talk about today, right? The Monday morning, get things going is, wow, the time is passing. I mean, next week's going to be Thanksgiving. The next month's going to be Christmas. And the year is over. Just beautiful. Come on up here, girl. Come on. Come on back. On the mission. Come on, baby. Come on. So, yeah, so just, wow, time flies. Look at this here. I bought from Griot's Garage some really nice plastic car covers. Look at this Bronco. This thing is so nice. Oh, so, you know, when you hang out these car forums, it's kind of hit and miss, meaning that, you know, sometimes you get a lot of information that benefits you. Sometimes you argue with people. Look at the Bronco, though. I just think the thing looks so good. Come on, Ginger. I mean, I was just really in love with it. Oh, so what I found out this morning is this Bronco, it doesn't require 93 octane. Look at this little thing they do here. They show the years. And even up here in the vents, up here in the hood vent, my daughter actually figured this out. They have the year. Look at that there, huh? Isn't that something? So that's the last year of the Bronco. This type of Bronco, not the big, bulky, I guess, 80s Bronco. So, yeah, this vehicle does not take premium fuel. That was actually, I've learned that through the forum, Bronco forum. It even says in the manual that you can use regular fuel. That's huge. That's a huge savings in fuel. But, oh, yeah, what's going on here? Look at the car covers on my vehicles here. Is that pretty cool? I mean, look at that. So these are plastic car covers, and they're $15 each, and they're really more designed just for you to be out at a car show and throw them over your car if it starts rain's coming in, or just like me, just dust. They get to the shop. But what I like about this is I can see my car. The only downside I don't like about the cloth covers is you kind of lose the look at your car. You know, you lose the look. And then for me, if there's something going on in the car, mice or wherever, you can kind of, I just feel like you kind of see more what's going on. It's more transparent. And wow, so I just think this is really a great option for people. This isn't going to work outside for long-term storage, but for what I have going on in my shop, it's like perfect. But boy, I tell you what, those covers got me to thinking about my conversation today. You know, I talk all the time about how do you get content to intrigue people to watch your channel. And sadly, create content to me that's, you know, borderline, it's just not factual. You know, it's what we call the clickbait. And, you know, I'm not doing that stuff. I mean, I don't get paid. I don't get paid from YouTube. So for me to be trying to force the hand, get the heater here. And there's my old Chevy. That's a Chevy. I was a truck guy, Chevy guy. There's my old Mopar. There, you know, boat guy. So anyways, what popped in my head, got all these old chores to do. It's cold up here. Yeah, I don't heat this thing. You know, it gets way too expensive. Sitting here running the heat up this office all weekend long when I'm not in here, and there's no cold pipes. Things I have to worry about freezing per se, besides with the computers. But anyways, so I got to thinking, the cover up, the covers, I'm going to cover up my cars. And I got to thinking, wow, boy, I just like hit me like a brick in the head. It's like the cover up, boy, oh boy, the cover up. Think about how broad that statement is. And the first thing I thought about was you have the car industry's had a lot of cover up. You've had the sports industry. I mean, I think of Pete Rose, the gambler, Michael Jordan. What's very interesting about Michael Jordan is he disappeared out of basketball, and they tried to use an excuse they went to go play baseball, but no, they dismissed him from basketball because he was gambling. Yeah, he had a major gambling addiction, and he was gambling, and so they booted him out of that league. Pete Rose, same story. You look at the cover up. What I'm saying is it was uncovered what they were doing. Look at Tiger Woods. Wow, look what happened to Tiger Woods. The cover up on that guy. Yeah, the running joke was that guy played nine rounds of golf, or nine holes of golf, whatever you want to call it. He was on the side having serious sexual relationships with other women, and while he was in his prime in playing golf. And I think that's so because he was doing probably like borderline steroids. I think that testosterone level for him was through the roof because he was supposed to be such this incredible athlete. And he pushed himself beyond push himself, and I think he started taking all of these supplemental drugs that just turns you into a raging bull. Yeah, how do I know these things? I've been around people, and I just know what these. You start pumping all these chemicals in your body when you're doing lifting, and that's one thing I didn't do. I just tried to stay away from that stuff. The only thing I did for a little while was creatine, but boy, I just didn't trust that stuff. I was back like in '95, and that wasn't at my prime. I didn't ever use that stuff like when I hit my big numbers. But so the point is the cover up. I think to myself, we all can relate with in like every aspect of our society. Is so many things being covered up. Bernie Madoff, the Ponzi scheme guy that covered up all the money he was using. He was using people's money to make money. But when it came time for you to actually get paid your money, he didn't have your money because he was using your money to make money. I mean, so that was a huge cover up exposed. You look at the car industry, try to keep it the car theme. Over the years, Ralph Nader came to be back in the 60s because of the Chevrolet Corvair or whatever that would blow up if you got in a car crash in it. He was kind of the guy that was uncovering the big automotive of doing devious things, of making cars unsafe for people. Then you look at, I talked about it the other day, the diesel cheat, where you had the people out there, manipulating the computers on the vehicles so that they could make it look like the diesel cars were emission compliant, but they weren't. So that cover up finally got disclosed, and I'm just going to tip my tongue. I'm just trying to think to myself of all the cover-ups, and I think to myself, where the automotive industry is today, what's kind of going on that we don't realize that's a cover-up. And boy, I tell you what, there's just so many things happening around us that are pandemic related, and I think to myself, it's just beyond believable how the pandemic kind of created the cover-up. The pandemic kind of started this momentum of just a lot of cover-up. Have you heard about so many businesses that cheated the government for the payroll protection plan? Have you heard about so many businesses taking money because of their dire straits of their business, so-called? And there's been so many people exposed of stealing money that did cover-up. And once again, it's a cover-up, but then eventually it gets exposed. So I think the pandemic, to me, I try to keep things more modern times for all of us who can kind of relate with each other on this conversation. So I just think of myself, when the pandemic came in, we all know it's like half the country believed it, the other half of the country didn't believe it. I'm not going down that rabbit hole of that radical conversation because it gets too radical and it creates the divisions. But the point is, it seems like the pandemic was kind of the beginning of the cover-up. And somebody'd be like, well, what are you saying cover up? Well, do you know about the 2,000 truckers going to New York City, or the 1,000 truckers going to New York City? Does anybody know about this? There's a guy that has a web channel that's called Mother Truckin'. It borderline has that tone of mother. So it's MUTHA trucking. So Mother Truckin'. is a guy there that apparently has a network of truck drivers, and he shares the truck driving world experience. So he did a video yesterday with one of the key trucking advocate alliance guys, or whatever guy that's like the kingpin of the trucking, I guess, association drivers, and he claims that supposedly thousands of possible truck drivers are supposed to be in New York City right now. I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning. I've been looking for the news on truckers in New York City. Supposedly, the story is the truckers wanted to go and surround Fox News area to get exposure to the unhappiness of the truckers. Because the truckers, these are basically self-employed owner-operator drivers for the most part, that aren't happy of the trucking industry's dire straits. Okay, so for me, initially I was kind of thinking to myself, wow, these guys are struggling apparently. I mean, the mother trucking, guy like me, as far as talking through his video, he's implying that these truckers are taking incredible hardship times. And they're struggling and they're not happy with what they call the quantum. The one guy said it's a quantum, the quantum agreement. And apparently it's like from 30 plus years ago, where J.B. Hunt, one of the bigger trucking companies in the country, and a big Texas Freight or Texas Railway, some major railway ownership or whatever, they have control of basically the per mile fee that you paid for transportation. And apparently it's like at $2 right now. So apparently the truckers are not happy, and they want more money for them to be, compensated for their driving their trucks. So here's what I kind of started thinking about this through. And then I got another video that was posted a little earlier than this video from the mother trucking guy, and he's talking about he's reaching out to all these truckers and saying it's tough times. You need to accept it is what it is. You better save your money. So he's now presenting a whole different message. So what I got out of that message was, and keep in mind, I'm not the trucking guy. I can be misleading on information. I'm just sharing with you what I'm hearing through videos. So don't take for granted that everything I'm telling you is exactly the way it is. But it's weird on the cover up, meaning, so the other video, he's explaining that so many truckers got into their own trucking business over the last few years because everybody knows the pandemic shut down the whole industry, and a lot of truck drivers quit and retired, and they had a challenge of finding truck drivers. So that all of our shipping costs have gone through the roof for a lot of variables. Number one, not enough, truckers are out there, the fuel expenses, blah, blah, blah. So apparently these truckers back in the prime, up until this recent times of this year, were getting like $4 to $5 a mile. So it was a very lucrative business to get into 2 years ago. If you got into the trucking business, you got to buy your own truck, and you were making a lot of money because the mileage rate was doubled, maybe even tripled in some circumstances. And everybody knows this story because all we heard is how expensive the shipping's getting. So what I'm saying to you this morning is, this is really interesting that now you have all these truckers that are going to New York City to get attention, that they're underpaid. But yet the trucking industry has an agreement of like $2 a mile. And that apparently is what the major trucking companies use and abide by, and that's kind of how they survive, blah, blah, blah. I know they put extra gas surcharge on some shipments and stuff like that. But so now you have to say to yourself, wow, wait a second. All we're hearing here is you pay more to get a car delivered to your dealership because of everything so much more expensive. But yet here you have truckers who are apparently, I haven't seen one truck video yet. Someone can share it in my video about where these, was this just a clickbait video or something? I don't think it was, but who knows? So the point is, okay, so you're telling me that the inflated shipping rates we all paid over the last 2 years because of the pandemic-related challenges is now false. Because you're telling me as a trucker now, you can't charge the same to go up another road. You're back to the old rates. Wait a second. But why am I getting charged more for shipping for anything I buy? Wait, what's going on here? So, is this now uncovering the shipping industry of what's really going on, which I've read that over there in Asia and China and all the big barges, the big boats that bring all our goods here, they can't fill up their ships to bring goods here. They're in dire straits, apparently. Yeah, that's supposedly true. I don't know. I'm just read the news. And so they're right now today, I'm just seeing myself, and I saw the video late last night. I got up this morning and I saw another video, and then I started thinking, wow, these guys are uncovering the truth. Look at Elon Musk. We've talked about this numerous times. Elon Musk now is telling everybody he's overworked. Yeah, I wonder why. Now there's another guy, there's a video that Elon Musk is going to buy up GM for $60 billion. Yeah, right. So Elon's got SpaceX, he's got the solar thing going, he's got Tesla going, he's got the Twitter fiasco going, now he's going to buy GM. I mean, come on. When does it all just cave in because of, and now Elon's saying, oh, by the way, I think we can now build an affordable car. So it's like a double-edged sword with Elon Musk. On one spectrum, he's this guy that goes and borrows all the money from the government to make an affordable electric car he never accomplished, but never got called out on that. But now he's on the other spectrum where he's calling out these social platforms and how they all lie and don't really, bring you the facts and the truths that you think you are. But on his Tesla side, a little bit of that kind of going on too. So I mean, it's kind of like, okay, well, yeah, right. So, oh my gosh. So there's another uncover the truth, right? So then you think about, we hear just in the automotive industry, you think this through. Is the real expenses, I mean, is this more of a money grab? I mean, come on. Is really what's going on? Did the pandemic create the excuse for the money grab? Because why are the big corporations are making more money than they've ever made? Big oil is making more money than it's ever made. I mean, so it's like, to me, they're recapturing all the money they lost during the pandemic. Is that kind of the attitude from the investors and the stockholders and the board members that we got to recoup all the money you lost? So we're just gonna shove it up the to the consumer and suck it up buttercup and too bad? I mean, come on. Come on. I mean, sincerely, drinking coffee, you tell? Yeah, gotta have my coffee, get myself going with the caffeine. So uncovering. So that's the reason I made this video this morning. Is I was putting my car covers on yesterday, and I was thinking I'm covering them up, and then I got to thinking, wow, is this so true? But my cars, you can see through the cover, right? Where's the transparency? Do you remember that conversation, the big government years ago, that, individuals ran off, they're going to have a transparent government, and everything's going to be shown, everything's be, you're going to know everything's going on. Could you imagine if everything's a glass house? Wouldn't that be pretty cool? Right. I mean, in some ways, not really. Yeah, some people you just don't want to see when they're taking a shower, right? So, what if it's just a glass house? You can really see what's going on. So for me, the trucking industry for sure has, for me, a light bulb's going off in my head. Like, oh, okay, yeah, everything's getting more expensive, right? Because everything's more expensive. But the truckers are telling them, are down in New York City right now, saying they're going broke. They're gonna have to close up because they can't make any money. Well, yeah, I get that because they have to pay for expensive fuel, right? Where's the cover up on that? What's the real deal on the fuel? And here's the thing: the trucking guy is point blank saying through this video that represents these truckers is not the mother trucking guy that's doing the interview with the guy, but a gentleman like my age that apparently drove trucks his whole life, and now he has a brokerage, shipping company that he operates. But he claims straight up the fuel prices are going to be $7-8 a gallon for diesel. Your $6-7 gas is going to be around the corner, and the fuel shortage. We're in a fuel shortage. Are you hearing this? This is a big trucking guy that swears up and down that here in the next, the upcoming months, that it's going to be a shambles. Wow. I mean, does anybody remember I talked about change and the leadership in our country? And does anybody notice that we just went through a midterm election? And wow, really beyond believable, really, not really radical. The Senate still holds majority for that control, for the sitting powers to be. And at the end of the day, the House, the Congress, it's going to be such a head-to-head number that all it takes is a few people absent from the vote or gets persuaded by the money not to vote with their own party. So incredible that we're right now supposedly witnessing. Here's another thing. Are we seeing the cover up of how the housing industry was really overinflated, beyond inflated? I mean, is that another thing that's getting ready to be exposed to this? Because all you hear now is the housing market's in a crash. Look at the stock market. Was that a total cover up of fake, false earnings and not? I called it the fake economy. Now I think we're back to real economy, but yet everything seems to be dire straits because you're back to real economy, and not everybody can make the tons of money they were making for that pocket of time. So there's so many variables there that I sometimes think that, is the market really going to crash at 20K this December? Well, I can tell you this much. The trucking guys said that they're going to strike. So if that's true, if the independent owner-operator truckers are going to strike to demand more over-the-road per mile fees, pay, and there's talk of the ongoing railroad. So if the railroad and the trucking industry really did strike, let's just say for a few weeks, oh yeah, the commerce of this country's done. Yeah, the stock market, yeah. I actually it would be like, yeah, I could, and fuel prices, if we see in December, the spike of diesel fuel really hit that $7 price, and you see the heating oil at $5-6 a gallon. Oh yeah, I think then the 20K stock market hits. But here's the whole point. It's the cover-up. The stock market, in my eyes, has actually been overinflated. Look at cryptocurrency. Talk about a cover-up. Are you watching this play out? To your eyes, there's a company called MicroStrategy up here in Tyson's Corner, Virginia, where this guy, Steve or Michael Seymour or something like that. This guy, I'm amazed they're still even in business. MicroStrategy back like in 2000 went public, and the thing went instantly to huge monies. And he took a ton of the money and gave it to education and universities. But the board members and stock people were like, whoa, wait a second, wait. Or the stock people really are like, wait a second, we just invest in your company. You're taking all the money and giving it away. Well, now this guy went out and leveraged the company buying cryptocurrency. Yes. And now it was just an article here like a month ago that he's doing it again because he doesn't think it's going to go to the ground. So he thinks that. So I'll be amazed this company, MicroStrategy, isn't part of this cryptocurrency complete catastrophe. Yeah, I never really followed cryptocurrency. I never really got into that. But as we're seeing, the fake money, the fake economy. So it's being uncovered of what really wasn't real. It wasn't real. And that's what I'm saying is the stock market. To borderline, it's not real for the reality of what's going on around us. If it's factual. Yeah, there is a challenge. What's the facts? Very challenging. But conversation is uncovering, I covered up my car and the cover up. And that's what I'm trying to convey as well is in the automotive industry, when you go to the ICE versus the electric vehicle, what's the cover up of the reality of electric vehicles? I mean, sincerely, do we now, down the road, do you realize there was a huge cover-up of the reality to the carbon net zero impact of electric vehicles? But it'll take years. It'll take years of this ongoing transition of people trying to, manipulate, in my eyes, what they think is going to create a better environment for the world by how much your cars, batteries in them, which I'm just not buying that. Have no problem with having an option of an electric car, but I'm kind of just, you push me back. I'm like, that's your only option, and that's going to create the answers to the world's challenges. And that's where I'm like, no way. That's where I separate from another person. It's like, I don't believe that far into it. I believe have technology there, you have options to pick and choose. And that's the thing. The cover-up. What's the cover-up of the green agenda that's not disclosing to the average person the real truth of the green vehicle? We know it goes very deep, just in the mining, the fossil fuels. So, but it'll take years for that to possibly come to be. Meanwhile, as the automotive industry is playing the hand of the governing bodies in the green agenda, that they're persuading and pushing them to become all electric vehicle manufacturers, net zero. But you have to say to yourself, you watch a video on Saturday I drove away in the dealership, and there's electric vehicles that they're not buying them. I mean, what is going on? I think it's the niche. I said this yesterday. I think that we're uncovering the reality that there's just a niche of people that are heck bent on wanting a battery powered car to not go to the gas station. I guarantee you, if you had a conversation with most electric vehicle owners, the main thing that would come out of their mouth is, I don't have to buy gas. That's the main thing you're going to hear. That they're and living in their own world, their satisfaction is that I don't buy gas. I don't buy gas. I mean, that's really what I think it's more about than anything. I don't really think that if you really got deep into it, they would agree that that car is going to save the world. It's going to be like, no, I bought it because I'm saving myself money in gas. Yeah, but you just bought a $60,000 electric vehicle that you can buy a nice used Honda Civic, same size, and get 30 miles a gallon. And in all reality, at the end of the day, you spent more money. All right, everybody, just ideas. Monday morning, a lot going on. Phone's already ringing. Things are happening. Kind of distracting me a little bit because it's Monday morning. I got a ton of things going on. Busy, busy day. As the Ford F-150 thing play out throughout the day as I travel on my travels? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to say, the kid now is getting second thoughts. The kid's now kind of like, yeah, because I'm just sharing with her that F-150 Super Snake I had. I mean, I never got the feeling like you just were really in love with that truck. And that wasn't a truck she would be able to drive anyways. That was a collector truck that, yeah, the truth prevailed, and that cover-up, yeah, that opened my eyes. That thing had no value. That's why I sold it, because, I mean, I know it would take forever to have any value. So, it's just a lot of money. We talked about those things in great depth, so not going to go down that road. So, everybody, hey, if anybody sees the truckers in New York City, reach out and comment. Yeah, they're here. New York City shut down, but the media won't give them any attention. I don't know. I have no idea. Very interesting times. Yeah, that's been my saying, is this year's interesting times. The fake economy's done. The reality's here. The truth shall prevail. These are all things I've been preaching and talking about. And the 20K stock market will be here by the end of the year. Hey, hope I'm wrong. I don't wish any dire straits to anybody, but you're reading a lot of people are losing their jobs. The tech sector is nothing like it was. Wow. All right, everybody. Hey, can we get something positive out of this, Iceman? Come on. Well, for me, in all reality, you got to take each day with happiness, because I think to myself sincerely, oh my gosh, I've thought about this so many times throughout my years of being in this physical world. As I get older in life, it's sad. You know how many people right now are in a hospital that don't ever walk out of a hospital ever again? You know how many retired people, older people, are living in assisted living homes, looking out a window, can't even go outside. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So for me as an individual, it's all material things. It's just money. And I've always had the confidence in my life that I'll make money over and over again. I will. I'll finagle somehow to make a living, and that's just who I am. So I just don't get all twisted and bent out of shape. I just enjoy life and have fun. I have a lot of fun. My cars are my fun. And yeah, I've been down to one car before and still having fun. My attitude hasn't changed. And that's what it's all about, your attitude. That's the challenge in life. Remember that Think and Grow Rich? Yeah, what's your attitude this morning? You got a positive mental attitude? Yeah, I won't go through that whole list. All right. Hey, everybody, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Is there an F-150 Slam lowered XLT, space white, 5.0 Coyote motor? Conversation later? I doubt it, but stay tuned. Have a great day.